Okay, today we're going to get this Bionic shark. It's a inexpensive 2-channel digital remote control that I want to gut out of the toy. So I started looking on the internet and Amazon and everywhere else, and I found this particular pool toy. Let's swing the camera on. Let's get this out of the way. I found this on Amazon. Here we are. I guess I can zoom in more if that'll help you. And this is the second one that I've bought. The first one that I bought I paid $6.99 for. And then when it did what I wanted it to do, I decided, well, I would pick up another one for the project I'm working on right now, which you'll see in a moment. And now it's up to $7.99. Now there were sellers selling this same toy for up to 40 bucks on Amazon. So I don't know what the deal is, why this seller can sell them for $7.99. Basically, the toy got bad reviews on Amazon, at least from this seller. They weren't blaming the seller, they were saying the toy was crap. That didn't stop me though. The price seemed very nice for a 2-channel remote control that I might be able to gut and use for my own little projects. And it could be that the failures that I can move this a little bit more so I don't trip over this. The failures that the people might have been having with the toy could have been related to the fact that they're using it in water. And I don't have any plans of using this toy in water. And at $7.99 seemed like an amazing deal, because you not only get the transmitter, the receiver, digital stuff all operating up at 2.4 gigahertz, so you don't need a long antenna. It also comes with a rechargeable battery and a USB to adapter for recharging the battery, which I can use in some other project I won't need in this particular one. Let's see if there was anything here. What I liked about it was it had the 2 controls for left and right, so when I'm doing tank tread controls and stuff like that, I can control the treads separately. Speed range. Okay, I couldn't figure out on the first one what that button was for down there. It's a speed range control. That could make my first project that I use one of these on work a lot better. Let's get into this. Comes with a screwdriver even, because being a water toy, they had a watertight compartment that the battery was going to go in. But we'll just use the screwdriver to tear this thing open. So here's the transmitter. You do have to put a couple of batteries in the transmitter. Like I say, the shark toy part came with the rechargeable, but the transmitter, you just put 2 AA's in there. Let's get that set up. Sitting over here. This same transmitter case has been used in some of the other toys I've had, where they've had buttons up here and stuff like that. This particular one though, we just really have these. This is a demo mode button where the shark will basically run one motor for X number of seconds, then the other motor, so it would give it like a swimming motion. I don't have any use for that at all. This one here, which I couldn't figure out what it's for, it says it's for speed control. That's something we're going to test out. Okay, so here's the rechargeable pack, the USB to mini jack there for charging it, and there's even 2 spare prop blades, so if you were going to make a water toy or something, you'd have 2 spare blades in case you happen to break the ones that are on there. Don't need that. When you're going to play with it, then of course this tail piece snaps into those 2 holes there, so as the motors here run, just will animate everything out in the wild. In fact, let's just take a look at it that way. No, let's not. It'll just be in my way. So to get in here, It's been over a week since I did the last one, so I don't really remember, but I'm just going to start taking screws because it seems like, you know, the biggest problem I saw with this, if you're actually going to use it as it was intended, was with this on-off switch. Underneath the silicon cap, which is very stiff and doesn't hardly move, there's an actual slide switch, and somehow you're supposed to be able to slide that switch to turn it on and off. I could never actually do that, so I mean that could be one of the main complaints with this toy is they can't get it to work, and they got to keep it watertight. I would basically, if you ever got that switch in the on position, I would just leave it in the on position and simply remove the battery when you're not playing with it, because you're going to be removing the battery anyway to charge it up. So don't use the switch if you want to use this as a pool toy. Let's get into this thing. This is the watertight compartment where the battery pack would go. You can see white, which looks like packing peanuts up in there, but it's styrofoam bits that were shaped to fit inside the toy for buoyancy, so it would hold the shark at the proper level in the water. Can't really tell when these are unscrewed all the way. I'm guessing they're not. There we go. So you can see it has a little silicone seal around there, so you have to get that on there tight and sealed up if you're going to use it as a pool toy. I'm just going to keep pulling screws here and we'll get into it eventually. I actually I've done so many projects since I took the first one apart, I really don't remember exactly what it was to get in here, but I remember it wasn't hard. Got that one. How about these? So I don't really have any plans of putting this thing back together other than maybe for a shot for this video. I may put the body back together. I don't know how you can beat that price though. Less than $8 now. I actually paid less than $7 for my first one. And you're going to get full 2-channel control, digital at the higher frequency, so you don't need the big antenna. In a rechargeable battery pack, and if you know somebody with Prime, which I do, then you can get it with free shipping, which I did. You gotta be getting there. Any other hidden screws that I'm not seeing? Alright. So now you can see the styrofoam inserts that I was talking about for buoyancy. Let's get those out of the way. And the switch compartment. I don't really remember how all of that crap works. I don't think I really need all of that. What I want to get to is the receiver and motor driver, which should be in there. How did I do that? I think I was through here. I don't think I had to go through the other way. Let's just see if this is free. There we go. I'm not sure what's holding me up. Maybe the hot glue or whatever they got here where the wires enter. Doesn't really feel like hot glue, and yet it doesn't feel like silicone, but it is just spongy. Tears pretty easy. I guess if you had water ingress in the toy, this is probably where it would happen. Just whatever this stuff is, it's not very durable. I think that stuff's all free. Hang on there a second. There we go. Okay. So, got our motor wires. I'm going to cut the right ones there. And the left ones I'm going to make a little bit longer so I can tell left and right later. And I don't care about the switch. I'm not going to be using that. Okay. Let's see, there's still a screw on the back of this to this piece of plastic here. Let's get that out of the way. Very good. So, here's what we wanted. So everything's clearly marked. We got our B+, we got our ground. These two were the switch, so we could just solder those together. Or if you look at it real closely, you can see the B+ just went to this blob, went up and came back. So our B+ actually will now be right there. We won't even need any of that stuff. So let's get rid of this. We know what's going on. It's well marked. This is the antenna. And these are our two motors. Trying to see if they still ended up being shorter and longer. Not really. Could be hard to tell. Doesn't really matter though. When I solder my motors up, we'll just test it, and if we don't like the way it's working, we'll flip it around. So let's do that. Let's see. I probably don't need that stuff. What I'm going to be testing it on, or with, is going to be in this version of the Johnny 5 tank tracks, but with a Lost in Space robot body. So I want to be able to control the two tank tracks separately. And alright, got the soldering gun here. Oops. I got to get down here outside camera frame to get some proper tin lead solder on there, because they were using the crappy stuff that the law makes them use without the lead in it. You can't solder that, the high heat stuff. And let's get these motor wires off. Again, they've got that high heat crap solder on them, so let's try to change that. Okay, I believe this yellow wire is my negative wire from the battery pack, if I remember right. Hopefully I'm remembering right. I don't want to blow this thing up and have to wait another week or more for another one to arrive. That's right, we're going to bypass where it said B plus and that, and go right to the switch return, which is this blob. Like so. Very good. And then we don't know which is right and which is left on these tank tracks, so we're just going to solder them on and guess. And then if it's not right, remove them. I think I need a little bit more heat on my tip. That's this circuit board is quite a bit larger than the ones that you find in the tanks and the Coke bottle cars and stuff like that. But in this particular project, that's fine. I've got this big hollow body. Now, hopefully I didn't make any solder bridges anywhere to short anything out, because I really don't want to smoke this thing. Let's find out. Where's the switch? Okay. I have a blinking light, which is good. I have the remote. I believe that was running this one, so I've got to reverse those, but it was going forward. And that one's going backward. So that one's going forward. So I'm not going to be sure on the forward and backward, but at least I know I have to turn. I have to flip these guys around to get the left and the right to jive with the controller. Okay, let's see what we got now. I'm going to move the left button. Okay, now it went forward, so that's good. I'm going to move the right one. Okay, that's good. I got forward, I got backward. See if the speed switch works. Is that slower? Yeah, I guess it is. Alright. So that's basically all I'm going to cover in this one. I'm going to do a separate video showing this, let's call this the J5B9 robot. This has got the 90:1 gear ratio TT motors, the blue ones. So it has slower speed, more power. Now I also have, hang on, I'm going to swing you around. I also have up there, as you can see, the J5 with the Iron Giant body. Now it's got the 48:1 TT motors, so they run faster and have less power, and the same controller. Like I say, that was the first one that I put the shark parts in. So what I'll do is a separate video demoing the two, and we'll find out whether the 48:1s under being lugged down is faster or slower or better or worse than the 90:1s not being lugged down with more power. It'll be an interesting test to find out what the deal is there. So there you have it. I can provide a link to this toy if you guys want to buy some to get for the electronics. But you know how that goes. This video, once I put it up, it's up forever unless YouTube takes it away. So today's date is January 17th, and it's 2024. So who knows how long this seller will be there, who knows how long the price will be $7.99. But you might look around whenever you're looking for controls for something. In this case, I wanted to control tank treads. This was the cheapest way that I could see to get radio controlled, a digital radio controlled, and at this frequency, full control. I mean, you got your dual H bridge, you got your receiver, you got your transmitter, you got a high-low speed. Each tread has an off, forward, and backward. Kind of hard to beat all of those functions. Plus, remember, it came with a rechargeable battery and a charger, which I could use for some other project, and I probably will. I think that's about it. This was an Amazon. You can find these toys everywhere, but not for this price. At least I haven't found it. I say the first one I bought it was still $6.99. This week it's up to $7.99. Who knows what will happen in the future.